Dear students, I welcome you to all of you in this class. Since all of you know, this is the corona time in which we are residing at the house, we are not coming to the college. So, in this situation, in this great difficulty, we are having online class. My dear students, this is, I think, fourth or fifth class of this paper. The topic of this class is disadvantages of international trade. Remember, in the last class we have discussed advantages of international trade. Many points I have raised up and explained. So now we are having disadvantages of the international trade. There are some negative points of the trade. Whenever we engage to the international trade, we are facing great difficulty. Some kind of problem comes up. One by one, I will raise these issues and I will explain. Remember, mostly we are having class on Google Meet. Every day I am taking and we discuss online class on Google Meet with the students. But this is one of the recorded class I am going to record and I will download on YouTube. I request to all of you, please be there. So you know, the first disadvantages of the international trade is impediment in the development of home industries. Remember, whenever we are having the international trade, it is great threat to the domestic infant industries. Remember, we are the developing economy. We are not having the kind of technology to reduce the cost and prices. Whenever we will come to the international competition, the domestic industry is not in having the capacity to fight with the rest of the world industries. So hence, open economy or globalization threatening to the domestic industries. So it is creating kind of disturbance to the domestic industries. Similarly, the second important point of disadvantages is economic dependence. Remember, when we are having the international trade, the commodities which is exodus to the domestic countries, which is cheaply produced outside of India. Hence, our dependencies to the offshore will increase. Our dependency on the rest of the world will increase. We could not produce the particular commodities. Remember, some commodities are very, very essential. So, in tense circumstances, the rest of the world or offshore or foreign country can ban to export to the India. We shall fall in the great difficulty. So hence, our dependence is for the rest of the world, it producing kind of difficulty for the domestic industries, and kind of tense and kind of different circumstances, India may face the short supply of that commodities. So hence, excessive dependence on the rest of the world is not the good idea. So hence, most of the essential goods should be produced in the domestic boundary. Hence, the globalization or the open economy or the international trade creating some kind of disturbances and increasing international dependency will have threat on the domestic economy. Similarly, the political dependence is the third disadvantages of the international trade. Political dependence means we depends on the rest of the world, their economic policy negatively hampered to the domestic economy. So hence the excessive international dependence may have the political intervention to the domestic economy, so they can destabilize our political system. So hence this kind of international trade producing kind of political dependency on the rest of the world, which is not perfect thing for the domestic economy. Similarly, the fourth disadvantages of the international trade is misutilization of natural resource. My dear students, when the foreign company comes here, they exploit our domestic resource very badly. They do not care. The fourth generation, they won't believe in the sustainable development, but they only have aim to maximize their own profit. They produce only for the profit, not for the sustainable development. They will not take care of our future generation. So hence misutilization of natural resource will rise in the domestic economy. So we should be careful for this kind of open international trade. Similarly, the import of harmful goods, which one is next disadvantages. Sometimes we do not, sometimes some are the bad goods, which is negatively that produces the negative externalities for the domestic economy. We should not import that kind of commodities that decreases our utility, that force to reduce our satisfaction. When we having the international trade, we import that kind of commodities, for example the spurious drugs, some luxury articles like cocaine and all, we import to the domestic economy, which is ultimately having the negative result of our population. So hence we should not import this kind of commodities. Similarly, we are having the seventh important point of international trade. The seventh negative points of international trade is storage of the goods. Foreign firms, they do not care for the welfare of the domestic economy. They are only having objectives of the profit maximization. So that's why artificially they created the short supply of the commodities. Resultant will have more prices of commodity in the domestic economy. The welfare of the domestic people will lose. So in such a manner, we are having many negative points of international trade. We should be careful whenever we engaging in the international trade, which negative impact to our domestic economy. Thank you very much to all of you.